Hi everyone. Let's talk about posture for a moment. I've talked about diaphragmatic breathing and other ways of breathing, but it's really important to align our posture. Now I'm going to start on a chair. We can also be doing this on the floor or standing. And we should do it in all of these positions as well. We're trying to breathe diaphragmatically, and that demands we attend to our posture. These postural alignments that I'm going to talk about are difficult for many people. When I teach at Bastyr on my clinic shifts and in my office, we're not allowed to cross our legs anymore. I don't have the students cross the legs. I tell patients not to cross our legs. Crossing our legs may feel comfortable to you. It will feel comfortable to you. However, it is dysfunctional. When you cross your legs, you're tilting your spine, your pelvis, and then that's going to impair your ability to breathe diaphragmatically, effortlessly and easily. So what you've been practicing is a posture that can be compromising your physical and emotional health. I like to say that standard American posture is kind of like this, where we're doing this with our TV, or we're like this, or with our phone. We're bringing our head forward. We're curving our rib cage, and our rib cage starts sitting on the diaphragm, so breathing becomes difficult. Not only is it a challenge to breathe, it's going to change the rate, the rhythm, the smoothness of the breath. The way we're designed is to breathe diaphragmatically, and that requires an upright posture. Now, no, humans are not designed to be sitting like this all day long, or even standing. I do recommend moving every 20 minutes, something I need to remind myself about. But when we're sitting, how do we sit in an upright posture? So the first thing I invite you to do is find your normal posture. Find your typical posture, Now that can be condition specific. Do you sit at a desk all the time? If you're sitting at the desk, what's your posture when you're typing? If you're at your computer, I'm assuming that. Or if you're sitting in class, what's your typical posture? I posit that we might be bored, depressed, sad, or anxious, not because of the psychological issue, not necessarily even because of the situation, but because of our posture and how it impacts our breathing. And I have evidence to suggest that. So, notice your posture. So find your initial posture, find your typical posture. I find that at home I have a sofa that I wind up sitting like this in. So if I spend an evening watching a video, I'm in this posture. Now look what this posture translates to sitting up. And this is what it would translate to standing. Not functional. So let's find your your typical posture, and then try to breathe. Try to breathe in the abdomen. It's challenging. So I like to start at the bottom. So if you were seated if your feet are crossed, notice your feet crossed. If your hips are crossed. So uncross them. So let's first start by putting your feet on the floor. I'm going to move my chair. I'm going to move my chair sideways for a second. And I don't know if you can see this, when you're sitting, notice feet flat on the floor. You want your knees lower than your hips. Now this chair is already poorly designed because it tilts back a little bit. It's flat, but it tilts back just slightly. So I'm going to want to sit at the front of my chair for most times. I want to know if my knees can be lower than my hips, so I might walk my feet out. I'm going to walk my feet out. And as I do that, the next thing I want to do is feel the pelvis. Can I tilt the pelvis forward? Can I tilt the pelvis back? Can I find neutral? So I'm not on one tailbone, and not on one sits bone, and I'm on both. And can I align that? It could be a slight tilt forward. Now, for those of you who sit with your feet crossed, your legs crossed all the time, when you sit with your feet flat on the floor and your knees out and your feet out, you're going to feel a gripping in their thighs. You're not used to this. You've been using that to hold yourself up. So this is going to be something you're going to have to relearn. Oh my gosh, sit with my pelvis neutral? That doesn't feel comfortable. Oh, I feel like I'm going to fall back. Now, once you align your spine, you want your shoulders, your hips, and your ears to be in alignment. So, tilting the pelvis forward and back, moving up. We don't want our ribs jutting forward. Can we bring them back? Can we bring them back? And then can we have our arms hang down by our side? And can we just bring our head back? Now, a lot of people bring their head back too far and they start to get that double chin. So what we want to do is think about having a book on top of your head and elongating your spine. Now, I can already feel my one shoulder moving forward a bit. I want to move the shoulders down, bring the ribs back, have the arms hang, and have the eyes forward. Now I'm going to go over different therapeutic exercises to help release each of these areas, but this is one of the postures we want to find ourselves in. Moving my chair back. Can you find that upright position? Now, if your hands are resting in your lap, notice what happens when my elbows are forward, which they tend to be when I work on a computer, when I'm using a phone, when I'm writing. It pulls the whole spine back. A curve pulls the shoulders forward and the spine goes back. So can I feel that length and the arms hang? If I have my hands on my lap, can I get my elbows right under my shoulders and my ears under that? I don't want to arch forward. I want to bring that back. And I do tend to keep arching forward a little bit. So I invite you to play with your posture. Now, in this aligned posture, and you might feel like I'm grabbing here and I'm tensing here and I'm doing all of that, you can soften it just a little bit. Take a breath. Notice the ease with which it comes in. If you relax the muscles, can you just allow the breath to be diaphragmatic? Now do this for a second. Bring your hand up, look down, breathe. Feel into your throat and your neck. What's it like to breathe that way? Breathe up, sit up, breathe. Notice what you feel. Contract. Notice what it's like to breathe. Sit up and notice what it's like to breathe. So I recommend you practice this again standing. Many times when we stand, our hips go forward or hips back. We sit on one leg, stand on one leg, put all our weight on that. I invite you to feel the difference and see if you can find an aligned posture, one that allows the breath to simply come in with ease, where our neck is elongated, our body's in alignment, and the belly is soft enough that we can breathe in the diaphragm. So let me know if you have any questions. Go gently, knowing your goodness.